Habs of October Red, and I'm joined by Trainer of the Year. First of all, congratulations, Robert. What was that like getting that award yesterday?
It was awesome. It was a great event. Being the first time Ring Magazine does an event, it kind of seemed like we were in the Oscars. All the honestly, the entrance, the celebrities, the way they were treating everybody with drinks and treats and everything. And then when we went to sit down, it was beautiful. The ceiling. It was just one of those events where I thought I was in the Oscars. Honestly, I didn't even think about. Hopefully, I win. No, it was just. I'm glad I'm here. I'm glad I got the invitation. Turkey Lashik is doing a great event. It put up a great event and is doing a great job in boxing. All these fights. I don't even know how many they are. Like 6 or 7 fights.
Yep.
You can't pick a favorite on
Nope.
none of them. They're all so close. They're all the perfect fights, and that's what boxing needs.
Can I ask you something? There's one thing that you mentioned in your speech yesterday, and it's about the lineage, the Garcia lineage, and you even gave a shout out to your newborn grandson that carries the name to the third.
Correct.
Talk to us about the importance of the Garcia lineage and what it means to you to carry that bloodline on, Robert.
Look, I get chills because
I got chills listening to your speech.
when
It was heartfelt.
growing up, since I was 5 years old, already fighting in the amateurs, my dad just loved the sport so much and transmitted that to me. I never really liked boxing. Even when I was fighting, I never fought because I loved the sport. I fought because my dad loved it so much and pretty much made me. Then my brother Mikey, same thing. Mikey never loved boxing, but through my dad, we did it. And now as a trainer, what he was doing, what he did with Fernando Vargas, with myself, my brother Mikey at first, I'm just continuing to do what he did best. And I know he feels so proud every day in the gym when he goes to the gym and he sees the gym full of talented fighters, world champions, through guys that are going to fight for the world title this year, guys that are ready maybe towards the end of the year, maybe guys that need one more year before, he sees all that, and it just makes me feel so proud that he's enjoying all those moments. He turned 80.
I was about to say, how old is he?
He turned 80, and he still goes to the gym every day. He enjoys. He's there talking to 4-round fighters, just like he talks to world champions. So I love it, And my son being part of my team.
Yep.
My son Robert Jr. We call him Pita, but yeah, Robert Jr. And now, he has his son.
I love that.
Yeah, Robert the Third. I have Bear, who is my oldest grandson. He's 5 already. He's my other son's son. My other son, his name is Eduardo, just like my dad. He's not involved in boxing. He has his own business. He's doing really good too. He's got Bear. He's the one that he's the dad. He's Bear's dad, and he also has a daughter. I didn't mention my granddaughters. I just mentioned my grandsons because I thought it was gonna be too much. They're mad at me because I didn't mention them because my son, my oldest son, just had 2 twin daughters.
Twins.
Yeah, they're just like 2 months old.
Congratulations.
Yeah, thank you. And the oldest one is 1. She'll be 1 next month.
Wow.
So I have 5 grandkids already.
Congratulations on that. But the thing is, you're carrying on the lineage and you've got the stable of fighters. Bam as well.
Correct.
Phenomenal fighter.
Correct.
What is it about your stable that you train these fighters to be powerful? Not just to be able to have the boxing ability, but to be able to have the power with it. Talk to us about that Garcia style.
You know what? I think everybody starting in my gym, from the amateurs that we have to the 4-round fighters, 6-round fighters, they see the example of somebody like Vergil, somebody like Bam, somebody like Rayo Valenzuela right now, who are my 3 world champions, active world champions right now. So all the guys that are starting with 4 rounds, they see what Vergil's doing,
they want
that, and they train as hard or even harder just to see it one day be there. They get those examples, and they also, if you see my team, just like Vergil, just like Bam, or just like Rayo, nobody wants to be special. They all train. Vergil trains at 10 in the morning with 20 of my other fighters together. He doesn't want his own time. He doesn't ask for his own time. Bam
There's no
doesn't.
superstardom with it. They're just humble
Exactly.
fighters.
So that's what I think makes my team so great, so big, and obviously the help that I have with my son, Pita, assistants like Chip, Felipe, my conditioning coach Charles Tremblay. All of my fighters are trained by him when it comes to conditioning, and I think he's the best at what he does. My fighters don't get tired; they fight so hard. They go all 12 rounds if they have to, because they're in great shape. My
Talk to us
conditioning coach,
about that conditioning coach. What type of conditioning do you have for your fighters? Everyone has a different style, but what do you like for your fighters?
you know what? Everybody has a different system, and Charles went to school. He's a doctor at what he does. He's literally a doctor.
Levels.
Yeah, exactly. So he does. A lot of people don't even believe it, but most of my fighters don't even run.
What?
They
Hold
don't
on,
run.
no.
Charles,
What?
believe me, a lot of my fighters don't even run. The ones that do run, they run on their own because I tell them. I tell them because I'm old school. I still have that mentality of you have to wake up in the morning to run.
Yeah.
But Charles tells them you guys don't have to run if you guys don't want to. I tell them run on their own. So Vergil twice a week, he runs twice a week on his own, gets a little run.
Yeah.
Bam, same thing.
Okay.
But Charles tells them it's not necessary because what they do for conditioning is more than enough. Believe me.
Really?
Oh yeah. Jose Ramirez, in the last 10 years, all his career as a professional fighter, he never runs, and he never gets tired because the work that Charles does for conditioning in the gym is much better.
How do you compensate that then? How do you compensate running with other forms of strength and conditioning? And I get it, the strength and conditioning coaches might have a go at me now. Of course you can do it, but how do you do it, Robert?
You know what? I've had that discussion with Charles, and he's the only one that could argue about it because he knows, he studied, and he's the one that has that system. Because I'm old school. Let's go run.
The miles.
Exactly. But whenever we do take our guys running, maybe once a week, we take them. We don't take them for a 5-mile run. We take them for like hill run, like sprints.
Okay. Yep.
Stairs.
Yep.
There's in Santa Monica, which right now we can't go for all those fires that are going on, which is a disaster right now. But stairs or hills, but sprints.
Okay.
Not a 5-mile run.
Okay.
Sprint.
So you're about getting that heart rate up quickly to chest the recovery.
That's what Charles does.
Okay.
In the gym, he makes all the guys work with so much different exercises that's getting their heart rate.
Okay.
So bad, and that's what gets them in shape. And he tells them, you guys don't need to run. I tell them, if you guys want to run, go and run.
Go and run.
Because I still feel like it's still needed.
Because it's the old school mentality, isn't it?
Mentality, exactly.
So talk to us then about Vergil. He's got a fight with Israil Madrimov, a very good fighter. I like this fight. And like I said, all of the fights on the card, you're looking at them and you're thinking, Robert, I can't pick a winner.
Exactly.
I can't pick a winner.
Man, there's like 7 or 8 fights.
Yeah.
It's going to be hard. You can't pick a winner on none of them. Neither of them. They're all so good. The main event was so close that some people thought we both pulled it off. Others thought
What did you think?
Honestly, I thought we both pulled it off, but I think he made a mistake in the last 3 rounds. I think that's what.
What with his output? What was it?
Because I think he slowed down a little too much in the last 2 rounds.
But isn't that down to like Beterbiev's aggressive, continuously coming forward?
Yes,
because a lot of people were saying he was hitting on the gloves. No, he wasn't. He was getting around the back.
He was doing some damage.
Yes.
No, he was doing some damage. That's also why, Bivol had to slow down, because it's not that he's slowing down on purpose. Beterbiev slowed him down.
Yes.
All those punches, all that punishment. So it was such a good fight. I think Bivol's going to do much better than this one. I don't know. I have a feeling that I'm kind of pulling for Bivol in this one, but it's so close that it's hard. And the rest of the card, I can't pick a winner on most of the fights. I know my fighter Vergil is going to train. He's training hard, and I'm training him along with his father Vergil Sr. obviously to win. But yeah, the fight's very close. The fight's going to be a great fight.
What holes do you see with Israil Madrimov? And obviously the last fight he had was against Terence Crawford. What a better margin to have, like when you talk about footage, looking at people's flaws, mistakes, things
hard.
that they're good at.
It's hard.
You've got that perfect footage there.
It's hard. He had such a good fight. Some people thought he beat Crawford. The fight was close. It was a really good fight. So it's not going to be easy. But we're training. We're ready. We're going to be ready. We're doing a lot of film studying, and
Is that worth it? Is a film study really part of it as from the
necessary.
coach?
It's necessary. Look, I don't like to watch
Too
full
much.
fights.
Oh.
No, I watch rounds. His
Right.
best rounds
Okay.
of different fights.
Yep.
I don't like to watch them because sometimes
Okay.
he could have a bad round, and that's not going to teach me anything. I want to see the best out of him. So I watch the best rounds from different fights. And I know he's got a great trainer behind him also. I know he's got a great team. I know he's gonna be in great shape. So we got to do the same.
And the styles, we've got the Mexican style, and then we've got the Soviet style.
gonna be awesome.
Talk to us about
Can't
that,
wait.
that kind of
Yeah,
matchup.
it's a challenge. It's a challenge for us. It's also a challenge, but we'll be ready for it. We'll be ready.
So what do you think about the main event? I've got to ask you, you've got Joseph Parker, we've got Beterbiev and Bivol going at it again. But one of the fights, because I know you've trained obviously Anthony Joshua as a heavyweight, now we've got Joseph Parker fighting Daniel Dubois. A boxing man, boxing knowledge.
Yeah.
How do you see that fight going?
Man, like I said, that's why it's such a good card that I can't really pick a winner. And that fight, man, I wouldn't be surprised if either one gets knocked out, because that could
Really?
happen. Oh yeah.
Yeah. Well,
Oh,
yeah.
Oh yeah. I think it's going to be one of those tough fights where it could be so close that either one could win, but it could be so good that somebody could knock the other one out cold. That's why it's such a great card. It's such a great fight.
That's what we love about boxing. It's when you get these type of fights and you can't actually tell what's going to happen. We've recently heard that Tyson Fury has retired. He's put out a statement saying that he's retired. The fight that we expected to happen was him versus obviously your former fighter Anthony Joshua. Talk to us about what you think as a coach, what you think Anthony Joshua should do next. You know him, you've been around him, you've seen him fight, you know what his strengths, you know what his weaknesses are. What do you think?
I think for Anthony, he's already accomplished so much. He's done so good financially. He's a very smart man. He's not an athlete that's out there spending money crazy. He doesn't. He's a very smart person. So he could easily retire and live happily the rest of his life. But I think that fight needs to happen. Fury and Anthony. I think Turkey will convince Fury to fight Anthony. I think that's a fight that needs to happen. Both of them owe us that fight. We need to see it.
We do.
We do. We need to see it.
We also needed to see the Wilder fight, but
And I still think Wilder's out there with.
You
I
reckon?
think- I don't.
you're not writing him off.
I'm not running it out. I would still like to see Wilder versus Anthony Joshua.
Okay.
And Anthony Joshua versus Fury. So those are the two
Those
fights.
two fights.
Those are the only two fights I would like to see Anthony come back and fight for. If he wants to come back to get a rematch or get something else, no, I wouldn't even want to see that.
All right.
I want to see the Wilder fight.
Yep.
And the Fury fight.
Usyk.
Because they owe it to us.
Usyk, then finally Usyk is there, multiple weight champion, unified at cruiserweight, unified at heavyweight. What should he do next? Because we're hearing about him potentially going back down to cruiserweight to fight Jair Pattaya, but I don't know. What do you think?
Well, that's the only fight that probably makes sense.
Really?
But maybe not having to get down to weight, because that could hurt him a lot, getting all the way to cruiserweight. Maybe make
Catch weight.
maybe at a catch weight, moving up, that'll probably be the best thing for him to do. He doesn't need to do. He's already done.
He's achieved
one of the greats.
everything.
He's one of the greats already. One of the greatest of all time. So he doesn't need to do it.
And I think Bam is definitely going to be one of your greats. Somebody that's he looks like a student, he's so chilled,
Yeah.
but then he goes in the ring and he's an absolute animal. How do you switch them on? How do you get that out of them? Or is that just his personality?
It's his personality. That kid is one of the kids that we've said if he wasn't a boxer, he'd probably joking around.
Yeah.
Don't get this straight. Just joking around.
Allegedly.
Or he could be in Mexico. He could be one of the cartel guys that's out there.
So he's really got that
he has
fire
that
in
mentality.
him.
Yes.
We love it.
Exactly.
Listen, thank you for everything you've done for boxing. Brilliant to talk to you. Brilliant to see you after all these years.
Appreciate it.
And enjoy your time in the UK.
Thank you very much. I love it.
Thank you.
Thank
Robert
you.
Garcia,
Awesome.
Trainer of the Year.
Awesome. Thank you very much.
People say I'm toxic, and honestly, I don't care.